Hey guys, it's Rafael, and I'm here going to do a small little video on painting a 1/4 scale head. I'm using the Russell Crowe head, the 1/4 scale from Gladiator. As you all know and seen some of my past videos, I did do a customization for this client and made him into silicone. So I had this just laying around. You know, I don't produce this or the Gladiator head, so please don't ask me to give you a copy. I don't know if Cap 70 still produces them or not, so if you need anything, you know, look him up on Statue Forum, Cap 70, or Facebook, Carlos Pimenta. So anyway, but you know, I'll be painting this guy up, and hopefully you'll learn something on how to paint a little human head. Doesn't have to be, you know, the Russell Crowe, but you'll get an idea of what I do to these guys. And so let's get going and hope you learn something. Okay, so I'm just going to use the FW Flesh Tint. So I'll just probably throw this as is, then we'll see what I get from it. You know, you could mix it up until you get the right skin tone that you would like. So I'll just use this and see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. Even in this area you'll see some patches on there, and that was had some holes in there, and I just actually just covered up very quickly, you know, just ghetto looking, because this piece is really just to get an idea on how to paint the main face. All this stuff doesn't matter to me because well, once it's painted it's going to the garbage, but you know, just to see the process. But so don't mind all that little crappy looking things. I never really did, you know, clean them up that well. And as you can see, this color out of the bottle is a little bit too light, but we'll work with it right now. So, you know, we'll just add some more tones if needed. So the next step is I'm actually going to not use the airbrush, but just a thin brush. Let's see if I have one, and just start splattering some things on there. But before I do that, I'm going to add the matte finish on there in case I don't like what, or if I do too much of what the next step is, I can always wipe it off without messing this part up. For this next step, I use just blurry. Hold on. For this next step, I used the same thing. I'm using FW inks. I just used red, and I added some water, diluted it, and I added some alcohol in there, so hopefully it dries quicker that way. And I'm just using this very fine brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip it in the water here, and not spray. I mean, not flick it immediately, because you know the first flick usually is just crazy spots. You want to do it you know, after you do the first one. Let's see here. Once they get smaller, then you add it on the face, and you'll get some big ones in there, but we'll take care of that. So here we go, and you can see some big ones. Just kind of use your thumb and blot them out. Now you probably don't see a lot of the stuff I'm doing here because they are very, very fine. A little bit more on the ear. Oops, way too much. Now the next step is the same thing, except I'm going to use some blue, watered down. And now the next step is going to use brown. Same thing, watered down. Now over this, you're still going to give it another coat of the base coat, which we started off with. But I will probably add a little bit of brown on there since it was too yellowish and pale, I think. I went ahead and sprayed them with some more matte finish, so I'm going to just do some shading. Alright, so let's add some lip color, and right now I'm just going to use the same red I used and see what happens. Spray it with some clear. Go in with some brown. Alright, well, let's get the hair painted and the beard and eyebrows just to make them look kind of like something before we do the eyes. So this is just regular brush. So let me just get a head start on that and I'll put them back on here. Alright, again, so now that that's done, spray it again. And we're going back with a little bit of darker brown for the hair, since it's actually, well, supposed to be a little darker than his beard. Okay, so I'm still going to add some more darker color on the hair, but what I want to do right now on the face, I'm just getting the same watery red that I had and get a brush, and believe it or not, we all do have some kind of reddish tones to ourselves, so you want to add a little bit of red. It's very washed down. That would give the skin and face more color. Makes it look more real. It's very, very subtle, but it will make a difference. A little blush, but not like women blush. More like for a guy blush. A little bit on the top of the nose, not the tip, just the top. Don't know how much the camera would pick up on this, but get the idea. A little bit on the neck. I could use a very smaller brush, but this one's working pretty good right now. A little bit of black on the hair. I'm also adding a little bit of black on the beard, but not as much because the beard is a little bit lighter. Alright, so here we're going to paint the eyeballs. Those are a bitch. And I'm using not pure white. I'm using white mixed with a little hint of yellow. Man, this size of eyeballs are a bitch. I'm adding a little bit of light blue over the green. Alright, I added the pupil. I'm just going to add these little tiny lines. Okay, so here we have him. What I'm going to do now is, he is a little bit shiny. So I am going to spray him not with matte spray, but with dulling spray. Then after that dries, we'll add some 5-minute epoxy in the eyes to make them come alive. Again, this was a big ass process in getting the skin, because I kind of like it to show some kind of texture, as opposed to just painting it like your typical statue, which is just skin tones and some shadows. You know, here you have all the little speckles in there, and it, I think, looks a lot better. So let's add some of this dulling spray. Okay, as you can see, the shine went away. You have a little bit of it, but it looks a lot nicer than completely real shiny. So let's get some epoxy on those eyeballs. Okay, 5-minute epoxy here with a little hint of purple. I mean, very little, just so it doesn't get yellowish. And on this guy, you want to create a little bulge. For the cornea. By creating that little bulge, it gives the iris some depth, and it looks pretty cool. Right, guys, so here he is. Of course, I said, you know, it isn't as clean as possible. You see all this patching up, but that was not the point. The point is, for hopefully you got a good idea on how to paint some skin. It's getting blurry. I don't know if I can get a real good close-up of the eyeballs. No, gets blurry. Bummer. Anyway, so hope you learned something, guys. So we'll see you next time.